Good evening. Today is day 6 of the video challenge the 7-day video challenge that I'm doing with Transformation with Tracy, Foundation 101. And the theme for day 6 is be vulnerable. To tell the truth of something about you that you would keep hidden from other people, whether it's abroad or online. My truth is that I've dealt with depression for a very long time in my life. I would say probably started when I was a child, but when I knew it was depression, it was when I was maybe a teen. I would go, well, my early 20s. As a teen, probably from being a young adult at 18, 19 years old is when I might have recognized that's what it was. When it started affecting my life and how I was living is in 1991 when my grandmother died. My grandmother raised me from the time that I was born, or she started out taking care of me from when I was born. My mom and dad was teenagers when they had me, 15 and 19 years old. So they didn't know nothing about being parents. And on top of that, they both were addicts. So she kept me most of the time. So my depression really took full force is when she died. And then 2 years later, my mom died in 1993. And my depression got worse. My depression for me was having migraine headaches and crying all the time to the point where I was having crying seizures. And I would cry so much that I would black out and would have to go to the hospital and get tranquilizer shots, Powdol. Depression got so bad that I thought about taking my own life. The depression got so bad that I had to go into a psychiatric hospital once. The loss of my grandmother was devastating to me because I didn't know how I was going to function in life without her. I didn't know how I was going to be able to raise my children without her help. I didn't know who I was going to turn to for advice on anything in life without her there. That rocked my world. Even though my other grandparents had already passed away when I was younger, it was like they died because that's what happens when people are older and you get sick, you die. But when my grandmother died, which is my dad's mom, because she was like a mother to me, it just devastated my whole life, and I just went into depression. So from 1991, I can say that's when I knew of my depression, when my depression started for me, was 1991. And then my mom died in 93, and that was heartbreaking also. So I was in depression from then till 2005. I went to different doctors. I went to psychiatrists. I took different medicines that they gave me. and nothing helped my depression. Nothing. I would cry at my emotions and my feelings and everything about me was so sensitive that I would cry at anything. I remember my cousin one day, I was pregnant, and she put a ball in her stomach, and it was just her being funny and teasing me, and I just broke down crying because that hurt my feelings. So my depression was really real. A lot of people may not think so, but it was. Um, One day in 2005, I went to New Creation Church because I had heard good things about this church, and I heard good things about Pastor Gary and everything. So I went to visit this church. And it seemed like Pastor Gary was speaking just to me. Nobody in the church but me. And I went to the altar and I left everything at that altar. I left my depression. I left my crying. I left my migraines. I left all the wrong that I was doing in my life. I left everything at that altar. And today, 2016, 11 years, I can tell you that I have not had a migraine headache. I have not had a crying seizure. I have not had any of that to this day. So that's my vulnerability, was my depression that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of my family, some of my family members do, not many. None of my friends, some of them may, some of them may not. But that's where my vulnerability come in. So now you know my hidden secret. Depression. And for all those who may be in depression, seek a higher power. Trust in Him. He can get you through it. You don't have to walk around being sad, wanting to commit suicide, hurting yourself, or feeling like nobody cares. Because there is somebody that do care. It's your Creator. Reach out to Him. Give it to Him. Let Him handle it. Thank you. Good night.